Congresswoman from Hawaii, a Democrat who shares a lot of our same feelings about the stimulus, like the president, who says this is just not enough for the American people. Congresswoman Gabbard is joining us now.
Yeah, Congresswoman, it's Jay Sekulow. Great to have you. Thanks for being with us. We appreciated your stand on a lot of issues, this one in particular. And thanks for calling us. I know you're working today. You called this a slap in the face to the American people. We've said this was the initial plan was not enough direct aid. There was a lot of other stuff in there, but not enough direct aid. Let us know your thoughts on this, because obviously you're a very important member.
Aloha, Jay. Thanks so much for reaching out. And I couldn't agree more. You know, when you look at the hundreds of billions of dollars in this bill that are going to just about everything, not only in America, but in the world, except for providing that direct relief and assistance to Americans who need it the most, it points to how disgraceful this bill really is, and it points to the really messed up sense of priorities that leaders in Washington have right now. The reality is that if those sitting at that negotiating table felt it was a priority to provide this direct assistance into the hands of the American people who are struggling the most, then we would have had a very different result. Instead, what we have is hundreds of billions of dollars going to special interest corporations, other countries and other areas, with literally mere crumbs being left for the American people, expecting them to say thank you very much. Give me a break. It's ridiculous.
Let me ask you this, because you've been very outspoken on this, and you made a statement that really resonated with us, and that is the relief that has been proposed in this bill, if for your constituents in Hawaii, would not pay 25% of their rent.
That's right. I mean, we've got a high cost of living state in Hawaii. Obviously, we're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, which means just about everything that people consume, from food to energy and other things, has to be shipped in. Limited land mass, so cost of renting an apartment on average is about $2,000 a month, maybe for a one-bedroom apartment. So when you're looking at the kind of predicament that people in my home state are facing, but really people across the country, to say, hey, here's $600, a one-time payment to help you in this time of great hardship and need, is absolutely offensive and frankly grossly out of touch with the struggles and the suffering that the American people are facing.
You know, you ran for president of the United States and were very impressive in the debates and in your positions that you were advocating and how you articulated it. So let me put you in this position. If you were the president of the United States right now and this was coming to your desk, what would you do?
I would tell Congress to do better.
Yep.
I would have made sure that I made my position known from the outset. In putting the American people first. I would carry out what I put in place back in March. I introduced a resolution saying that for the duration of this emergency pandemic, knowing the impact it would have on people, we should have at least $1,200 a month in direct payments to the American people, so that you provide that certainty, much as many other countries have done. Instead of what has happened, which is funneling billions, trillions of dollars through dysfunctional governmental agencies that by the time the so-called help gets to the American people, all they're getting is leftovers. The unemployment program is a perfect example of this, where a ton of money has been pushed into unemployment insurance. I can tell you from my district, we're still getting calls from people who applied back in March, April, May, and they have not gotten a penny, and they're on the verge of being put out on the street.
People are saying, just so you know, I've just looked at some of the comments, tell them Tulsi like it is, and you are, which we appreciate. Jordan, you have a question.
Yeah, Congressman Gabbard, also during the holidays, I mean, Hawaii is a place, all the islands, which, even though it's got a dynamic economy, relies a lot on tourism, and this is now, gone on for a couple of different seasons, including a holiday season. A lot of West Coasters, that's their place to go, and that's not happening this year. So people, wherever you are, it's whether in the beautiful islands of Hawaii or in the tougher, northeast with the snow, and people are just hurting. And I think this message is resonating with everybody, Congressman Gabbard. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat or a Trump supporter or Nancy Pelosi. They figured out that we've got to do more for our fellow Americans who are hurting.
Absolutely, and I felt that's why it was important to take that stand and vote against this bill, some people say, well, 600 bucks is better than nothing. But as long as members of Congress capitulate to this, basically reward this kind of behavior from congressional leaders, the more it will continue, and the greater the American people will be left behind. Somebody's got to take a stand for them. I saw President Trump's speech yesterday. He called the bill a disgrace. I agree with him. And Congress should come back in and increase the amount of money that the American people are getting and actually honor the sacrifice and struggles that they're facing.
One of the things I said early in the broadcast today, I think that the standard for, I always look for tests when you're looking at a legal case, but what's the test here would be, can we do better than this? And I think that the truth of the matter is, not only can we do better than this, Tulsi, we have to do better than this for the American people.
Exactly. We have to do better. It's not an option. And the thing that I thought of as I was, looking through this over 5,500 page bill that we really had only a few hours to look at before they put it on the floor for a vote, which is a whole other issue, that you got members of Congress voting on something. They don't have any idea what's in there. But the thing that I thought is like, my gosh, these people are acting as though this is business as usual, and we're just going to continue throwing taxpayer dollars all over the place. And, again, provide people with just a little bit of help as though it's actually going to make a difference for them. These are not ordinary times. These are extraordinary times that require strong leadership from Democrats and Republicans to stand together and say, you know what, we hear you, we feel your pain, and we will do all that is necessary to help you, the American people, during your time of need.
Congressman Gabbard, one thing I wanted to do, this Jordan Sekulow, is I wanted to thank you, too, for putting forward that legislation for children born alive, not being afraid to do that as a Democrat, taking that stand you did in the Democrat debates. I know there's a lot of people listening right now. They're proud of that we can work in bipartisan ways. I think they're sad to see you go in Washington, D.C., but interested, too, in what your future may hold as well. But I just wanted to say thank you. And I wanted to make sure our audience knew. I know I put it out on social media that you had done that, but I wanted to make sure our audience knew that you had done that as well and really followed up on what you did in the debates and actually put forward that legislation, which most of your party disagrees with. So thank you for doing that.
I appreciate that, Jordan, and for sharing that. And that's exactly why I did it. I made my position known during those debates and wanted to be sure that the congressional record reflected those same views and frankly showing that this should not be an issue that tears us apart.
I appreciate it. Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard from Hawaii has done a great job. I thought she won the debates, frankly, on the Democratic side. Watched every one of them. She did a great job, and I'm thrilled that you came on the broadcast today. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for standing up for the American people, especially on this issue. And as we go to end the broadcast, again, Congresswoman Gabbard, thank you for your stand on this. Very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you for your work, and I wish you both and your families, your loved ones, a very Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays to your family as well.